What is your name and where are you from?
Name's Craig Golucky. I'm from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida.
All right. How did you originally hear about my lessons?
I did a Google search and seen a bunch of your intros on YouTube.
All right. Yeah, that's YouTube as everybody else too. What did you like most about learning from my method?
Was that it wasn't based on the sheet music and that you were teaching by ear, which I never learned how to do sheet to read music. So when I seen your videos and how you taught it, I was hooked immediately.
Great. What makes my method different from other online lessons?
The I'd have to say the like I said, the way you teach and the not strictly done off the sheet music. You create what you hear from the album or the soundtrack or whatever it's from. You show us how to play it that way.
Awesome. All right. On a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied are you with my lessons?
10, 110.
All right. I don't think I've gotten a 110 yet. I've gotten some 15s, but 110, that's great. Thank you. And would you recommend my lessons to a family member or a friend? And if so, why?
I would recommend them highly to anyone who would be willing to learn how because it's takes the stress out of learning how to read sheet music. And it's not that it's not right to learn how to read sheet music, but you make it easier to understand.
Great. Yeah, and that's all I've done here. When I was teaching I was teaching 50 students a week for 20 years. I did that.
Wow.
And I mean, you learn a thing or two about people when you do that. See that every week and trying to teach people. And I just found that the general person has trouble with reading sheet music. Some people just can do it, and then some people have a lot of difficulty. I had a lot of difficulty. That's I can relate, and I can play anything I want to in the world, but I still am not a great sight reader. It's just not my thing. I mean, I can do it, but that's just my brain wasn't wired that way. So my heart kind of goes out to everyone else who is that way as well. And this is something I invented to help everyone who loved music and wanted to play kind of another way. You just go around that mountain of trying to read music and just get right to the music and start playing and just write the name of the note instead of, a dot on a page. And that seemed to be it, taking out that step. And just going straight to the music and playing songs they love. In fact, the first time I did this, I had a little girl I was teaching, she's very talented, and I said, "What do you want to play?" And she was just, dumbfounded because she was like, "No one's ever asked me what I wanted to play," and it was some, some pop song from the, early 2000s, whatever it was, but I taught that to her and she was just overjoyed. And I thought, there's something to this. If people get to actually play the music they want to play, and they get to do it
That's
in a way
another.
where they don't have to read music. So, that it was history after that. Yeah.
That's great. That's another big draw for you as well. People like, what do you want to play? And I was like, yeah, okay. This is where you go to learn that. It's Shawn Creeks.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's been great. Well, Craig, thank you for talking with me. I'm going to send you that link now, and anything you need. Is there a sheet you want or something? I like to give people a sheet for doing this.
Yes, you know
Interview
what?
with me.
I will. I will. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I got to look because I want to make it a good one.
Okay.
So I'll probably send you the email and let you
Yeah.
know what it is if you don't mind.
Yeah. Ask me later. Just reply to this one that I'm about to send you with the Google link in there for that. But thank
Perfect.
you for talking with me today. I appreciate it.
All right, Shawn. Take care and good luck.
Bye, Craig.
Bye bye.
Okay. Well, Craig, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Is it night where you are?
Yes, it is. It's 8 o'clock, so it's pretty
Okay.
dark already.
Yeah, I got some Australia people, so I lose track, and that's really weird. It's going 15-hour difference sometimes. It's really
That is a lot.
yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to thank you for doing this and kind of let you know why I'm doing it. I haven't worked on the business side of anything in like ever. And I had some business coaches look at my stuff and they're like, I can't believe you've done this well, never trying on anything on the business part. So part of their suggestion is to do some testimonials. I've been doing that, and it's been a blast getting to meet you guys. So I've
Great.
had a great time getting to know you. And how long have you been with me?
You know what? It's a good question. I think it's going to be probably like 7 years
Okay,
because
that's
I've
about what I'm
been,
hearing.
yeah, I
Okay.
remember joining when
Well,
my
I'm going to
kids were,
turn you up real quick. Hold on.
yeah.
I can't hear you very well. Hold on. That ought to do it. Yeah, I forgot to. My son usually does it for me, but he's not in here.
All right.
So seven. Yeah, that's much better. 7 years. Okay. So, what was your upbringing? In music. Did your parents give you traditional piano lessons? Did you play guitar? What
You
was that
know,
like?
I never, not really, I never played any instruments other than the recorder in seventh and eighth grade when they were kind of like showed you how to play it
I
in
remember that.
school,
Yeah,
force you into that. So,
that was weird, wasn't it? Everybody, woo! It was just
so
awful.
loud, plastic and squeaky. Yeah, I didn't have that good rhythm, so to say. So
Uh huh.
we bought a piano for our kids, and when they were playing, I was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool." So I seen a Motley Crue song called "Home Sweet Home," and it's a great piano.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I was like, "Wow, it's not that difficult. Maybe I could learn how to play that." So I learned, and I taught myself by ear how
Okay.
to do the whole thing. So I was like, "All right, this isn't bad." So then I found online some place to get the sheet music. And that's when I ran across your website. And I'm like, oh man, this guy
Ah.
teaches by ear. Let
Yeah.
me see what this is about. So,
Uh huh.
bunch of your YouTube videos where you'd show like the first intro or a couple minute, not even a minute, maybe like 30 seconds or to the intro. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I want more. This is
Uh
just
huh.
too good.
Awesome. It worked then. I get a lot of people mad at me for only putting just the first part on there.
Well,
And
hey,
kind of
that's
funny
good enough.
enough, yeah, kind of funny enough. When I first started on YouTube in 2007, way back, I only did the part one because the video can only be I think 100 MB, and it couldn't. So I knew that I couldn't go over 3 minutes. That was my system. If I went
Okay.
over 3 minutes, it'd be over 100 MB. So I only had enough for the part one, and then I just started thinking, hey, you know what? I bet people would pay for the other parts. Then I could quit my teaching when I'm going out driving around teaching everybody. And now I can just sit at home make videos, and it worked.
That's
So that's kind of
awesome.
where that came out of. Yeah. So Home Sweet Home was the first one you found of mine, or you'd already learned that one.
Yeah.
What?
So then I jumped to, since I'm an 80s kind of rock kind of guy, so then I jumped
Yeah.
to
Me too.
your Guns N' Roses. I think it's November Rain.
Yeah. Sure. Oh, where I'm
Man,
wearing
that
the
was,
head.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that one, I don't know if I got all the way through that one. I think I got like just the intro just before he starts to sing. And that
Uh
was
huh.
just, it was so long and everything like that. And then I think you would put out, I don't know if it was around Christmas or whatever it was, but I bought myself a present. You did, hey, send in me something I don't have, and I will
Yeah.
play it or I'll write it out for you.
Uh huh.
And that's when I went and I was like, you know what? Poison has a good song called Something to Believe in.
Uh huh.
I don't know that I couldn't find it online. I got the sheet music. I found someone who was selling it
Yeah.
on eBay for like $20. And I'm like, oh, perfect. I,
Yeah.
I don't know how to read, but I don't know how to read music. So that's why
Yeah.
he leaned on you and was like, show me how to play this. So it worked out perfectly too. I love it.
So were you the hired request for that one?
Yes.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, the whole library, in case you didn't know, is built by the hired request. 18 years of doing this, and I didn't pick. I mean, 99.9% is stuff everybody else wanted on there, and that actually kind of worked out too because you guys have great taste in music, and you know what to pick. And if you hire me to do something, it's already something that's not can't be found really anywhere else. So that's pretty neat. Wow, wow, hired request. What year was that? Do you remember?
That was like probably so seven, probably like 5 or 6 years ago. It was like right after I joined as a full time member, and
Uh
it
huh.
was And I seen that and I'm like, oh, I don't want to miss out because you only had like a few spots left before you were booked. And I'm like, well, I don't want to
Yeah.
lose out. So,
Yeah. Craig, I used to do, man, I was a machine. I still do requests today, but I would get like 200 in a row,
oh
and
my God.
I'd have a list of 200 and I'd have to, just the whole year doing them. I still do a lot of them, not that many. But yeah, and even if you mentioned the sheet music, even if you could read the music, a lot of times the sheet music is not what's on the album. So you get it, like let's say you buy Billy Joel Piano Man, and you want to play that. So instead of getting what he's playing, you're going to get,
Yeah.
it's going to be some melody and right hand thing, and people are usually disappointed. They go, "Oh, I wanted to play what Billy Joel was playing. I thought that's what it was going to be." And so
Yes.
sheet music is notoriously not right in that respect. So that's another thing I try to do is give you guys, the exact arrangement, whatever I'm going from. If it's an album version or whatever you gave me for that Poison song, that to do exactly as close as I can get humanly possible to the original, because I think you guys want that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it was funny you did mention something just like that because it asked for any of the sheet music and then the video if there was a video or the song or whatever it was. So I found this song and I emailed it to you. And you're like, you made mention, you're like, listen, this guy in the video who's on the piano is nowhere near playing this song because he's not even in the right area of the piano. And you had mentioned that, and I thought it was hilarious. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. That's probably they're just editing some video or something like this and make him looking like he's on the piano and he really isn't even playing the song.
Yeah, right. That happens a lot. Yeah, and what's weird? Another thing that'll happen sometimes is I'll be transcribing something, and when they do this stuff, they do it in the studio, and so they have someone play piano, and then someone may say, "Well, I want another piano part in there," so they'll do another thing, and I'm hearing, and I'm like, "That's not humanly possible. That you'd have to have three hands." So that happened all the time in the Beatles. They would come in and add something else, and it's like you're already doing something else. You can't play all of that, so I'll have to figure out how to, leave something out. But yeah, the recording tricks they would use, and sometimes you can even hear a ghost track on the Beatles stuff where they recorded something, and then it's they use the tape, they use actual magnetic tape back then to do all of it, and you'll still hear hints of an old track in there somewhere. If you listen really close
Ah,
with
that's
headphones,
interesting.
you can hear those little, where it didn't erase quite completely, and you can hear an old ghost track on there.
Ah,
It's pretty neat. Yeah. So, what is your, like, out of all the songs you've learned from the site? What is your one that you're most proud of?
I gotta say it's the one you taught me was something to believe in because like I said, there would have been no way possible I could have learned that on my own through just the sheet music that I had. And you taught me in
Uh-huh.
something I really didn't understand a lot of with music, not how to read it, but the melody, how to keep that
Hmm.
rhythm when they do it live or when they have it on the radio. It's like I can hit the notes, but I sound like a robot, dunk, clunk, 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 clunking along. But when you showed it to me and gave me the tutorial, it was smooth, and I'm like, okay, this is how it's got to sound because now I can
Yeah.
stop, rewind, stop, rewind, stop, rewind, so I get that part perfect.
Yeah, and you mentioned rhythm, and that's a big thing. That's something that's hard to do with sheet music, and especially the way people play when they're playing rock music. You can't really express that in sheet music. You really can't. Not really. So I like the videos because they demonstrate. So if you can hear it, like, oh, okay, that's what it is. Because rhythms are in the end, at the end of the day, they're felt, not counted. And
Yes.
I like the video. So you have the sheets, but the demonstration is half of it too. Some people say, "Oh, I really just love the sheets," but you really couldn't do it without the lessons too. They kind of both go together, and that demonstration part is what I like about the website is that you guys can hear the rhythms, and then you can just repeat it back and learn that way. Yeah. So like if you had your home run song that you would learn one day, is there something on the site you would go, "Man, I'd love to play that one day"?
I was also trying to learn Van Halen's right now, and
Okay. Yeah.
I got the intro, and it's fantastic. But the problem is like once I get to a certain point, right after the whole beginning, and it's like dun dun
Uh-huh.
dun 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 dun, and I lose it. And I'm like, I can get to that part, and I can't keep up the rhythm and the beat and stuff like this. And
Yeah.
it gets frustrating for me, and I with the my kids were small, so I couldn't go and do it for 2 hours a day just to practice that one
Sure.
little spot or a couple times a week or whatever it was. So, and I got frustrated and I kind of let it go. But that would have been the song if I could go sit down like you see a piano at the bar or something like this, and then you just walk up, sit down, and then blast that out, and people, you turn heads with that. That's kind of my thing. You see
Yes.
people looking at you like, wow, I didn't know he could do that.
Well, I'm glad you're choosing your kids over playing the piano when it when it comes to it,
Thanks.
as we should. Yeah. Are you? How old are your kids? Mine are eight. Let's see, nine. Hold on. 21, 19, 13, and 11.
Wow.
That's what I got. What do you have?
Let's see. Mine, I've got a 29 back in Chicago, and then now I'm in Florida. So then I've got the 17 and a 15-year-old now, or 14-year-old that with my wife now.
Okay. Great. Yeah. Love my kids. And they, I've always wanted them to play, and they are finally, and they didn't use me at all. I mean, it's just so funny. I'm like, I do this for a living, right? I could really help you if you'd let me, but they learn from other places and they're doing pretty good. So, that's all I wanted is for them to play. It's
That's
funny though.
great.
My youngest one, my little princess, Caroline, I finally got her to get on the site because she's trying to learn piano. She wants to play everything. She's playing ukulele, drums, bass, singing, you name it. And I got her on the website, and then she start picking out stuff she wants to do. Eleanor Rigby, and then she's in there playing it, and then I go in to congratulate her. Go, oh, that's so great, baby! That sounds so wonderful. Let me show you what you can do with the sounds up here to even make it sound better. And then she's like, but Dad, the video said to do this. And I'm like, I'm the video, right? That's me.
That is me, right?
So I still can't get any respect,
Oh, that's
even in
kids
my
for
own
you.
video. Yeah. So it's fun hearing her play, and with these videos, they're almost 20 years old, and she's going from them. Yeah.
That
How
is
about that?
cool.
All the technology. Gosh,
Oh,
and you
so
mentioned,
yeah.
I'm with you. I'm an '80s guy. I love the '80s rock. That's my favorite. That's my sweet spot. Just because I grew up in it, I guess. But this technology, how it's changed. I mean, just 20 years ago, I had the little, VHS tape going to a, little laptop, and now we got 4K video, and I managed to upgrade my studio. But the
Well, yeah.
advance in technology is something else, isn't it?
So I tell you that the advancement in the technology, yes. So when I first seen it, you had a whiteboard, and you'd write on the whiteboard with your little dry erase markers, right?
Yeah.
And you'd show all these steps, and it was like, God, you make one mistake, and you got to sit here and do all of that. Then I advanced, and I seen, and now you got this digital uh, TV screen in the back, and it looks like it's from the future. It's pretty neat to see how you as your
You know
company
what?
and whatever you've done has grown. It's awesome.
Thank you. It's been a great blessing, and I hope to continue doing it. It's really fun. Well, Craig, I'm going to ask you some questions now that you might feel like you're repeating yourself a little bit, but
Sure.
they're for the videographers to make their the business part of it. They're going to kind of cut this part and use it for me. But I told them I'm not gonna cut out the part. I like to meet you guys, so I like to have
Yeah.
a conversation first to meet you before we get into these questions here. But if you don't mind, just answer them again. And at the end of this, I'm going to send you a Google link. It's a Google review. If you don't mind just clicking that and writing a few lines about what we're talking about here, that might help me more than this testimonials because Google
No
reviews are
worries.
huge. You gotta, if you
Yes,
do good
yes.
on Google, you can win the game.
There you go.
So if you don't mind, huh?
No, that's perfect.
All right. Well, let's get going here.